Can it possibly get any better? The FIA Formula One World Championship returns, and we're in the heart, yes, the heart of Australia, Melbourne, this weekend. The FIA Formula One World Championship. This is round number 1 of 2026. And another exciting year of Formula One is about to start. Circuit elevation 2.45 meters, circuit length 5.2 kilometers, 3.28 miles, and race laps of 58 of them. Damon Hill was the first winner back here in 1996. Michael Schumacher has the most wins, and last year's winner was the dominant Lando Norris. Tyres are brand new this year. We are soft, medium, and hard compound tyres. I'm going to talk about all of this come this year. Welcome in Elizabeth, C5, C4, and the C3 compound of rubber this weekend. The hard, medium, and soft tyres. This is going to be very, very good. And it's going to be an exciting round number 1 as well. I'm certainly excited. And I hope you are all at home. Weather conditions, we're looking at about 35, yes, 35 degree track temperature. Sun is beaming down. We've got 20 degree air temperature, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and 95 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. So it is quite hot out here in Melbourne, and that is shown by the fans that have come in, probably hundreds of thousands of them. Nearly 600,000 people are here this weekend at the Australian Grand Prix. 698,331 people have shown up for round number 1 of the Australian Grand Prix. That is a lot. And as you can see, the pit lane is buzzing. The teams are waiting at the end of the pit... Oh, sorry, not the end of the pit lane. At the end of their garages as we get ready for free practice 1. And for the first time this year, let's send it down to Ted Kravitz.
Might be, and who might the favourite be for the season ahead? But honestly, and I'm not sitting on the fence, it's 6 from the top 4 teams, and who knows, Kimi Antonelli and Isaac Hadjar might just join in the mix as well. I mean, it's going to be, from what we're seeing in testing...
Sorry, not Ted Kravitz. It's apparently the World Feed Commentary that is up there. So, there you go. World Feed Commentary, David Croft and Martin Brundle for qualifying in the races. But this weekend, for free practice 1, it is David Croft up in the combox. Give me a second, I'll be back.
Who's going to be on top here in Melbourne? But look at this, a brand new team on the grid for 2026.
Cadillac, who I'm reliably informed is the most tattooed luxury car brand in the world. There are more Cadillac tattoos than any other luxury car brand that are being sported on various bodies around planet Earth. Welcome to Formula One. Welcome Audi to Formula One. Sauber, thank you very much. Fond memories of your time in this sport. And you are now Audi. That's the brand's changed. Cadillac, a brand spanking new. And Audi were the first team to get a car on the track for filming before the pre-season shakedown test. But who is the first car that's going to come out on the track where the light goes green? I can't quite see the exit of the pit lane from our commentary box, but one man ready and waiting, he's been there since about 6:30 this morning. Ted Kravitz, how are you doing?
You're teasing us, Crofty. You know it's an Audi, because you're right, it is an Audi. And there you go, we've got an Audi car followed by a couple of Haas cars. And here we go, car number 44 in the Ferrari. This is one of the most widely anticipated cars of the season, followed by Kimi Antonelli, who himself could be challenging for a championship in the hotly tipped Mercedes, but everybody keen to get going, largely because, and you see the big aero rig on the back of the Audi as he actually gets going, they've got an entirely new circuit to learn. They've learned Bahrain, they've learned Barcelona with these new power units and these new aerodynamic rules, but this is such a different circuit. Anthony will get onto it in a second. Hugely different power demands, hugely different aerodynamic demands, and that is going to mean these practice sessions are as valuable as any time in F1 history. And that's why they all want to get out there. Not too many upgrades up and down the grid, couple for McLaren, one for Red Bull, one for Mercedes as well. But yeah, with some aero paint on the back of Charles Leclerc's Ferrari, the most innovations that Ferrari has got, they still have to learn something in this free practice 1.
Thank you very much. much, Ted. We have cars on track, we've had the shakedown, we've had the testing, we've had the filming days. This is where it starts to get really, really serious. So let's just take a pause and let's reflect on this moment with the 2009 Formula One champion Jenson Button, who knows what it's like to win around Albert Park and a brand new car as well. JB, how you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. And yourself?
Oh, honestly couldn't be happier if someone gave me the keys to the sweet shop.
Really?
Yeah, and look, they probably have, to be fair. New season, what did it mean to you? Go back to the Brawn days, the newness, how did you feel?
Well, every year feels special because you've had the long winter and you're not really sure what you've got when you get out on track. Obviously, winter testing and what have you, but not everyone shows their hand. But here, there's no hiding. The difference this year is we have a massive change in aerodynamics, in PU, hybrid systems. So it's a big shift and nobody really knows where we are. They know what they've done in winter testing, but they don't really know compared to other people.
Indeed, they certainly don't. There's the power units on the screen. McLaren, Mercedes, Williams, and Alpine have all got a Mercedes engine inside them. Ferrari, Haas, and Cadillac, of course, Ferrari have a Ferrari engine in them. That's obvious. Cadillac also running the Ferrari engine as well. This is going to be a very exciting year for especially those new teams that are out there. You've got to think of Cadillac. You've got Audi on the grid, practically just replacing Kick Sauber as well. We saw in pre-season test. Oh, that is a slow Oscar Piastri in the first part of free practice.
Oscar Piastri, but he's in trouble.
I've got no power.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oscar Piastri, free practice 1 on a Friday. I'm idling, but I've got no throttle. Free practice 1 Friday, Oscar Piastri's got a problem. Oh, that can't be good. That can't be a good sign for the year that is to come for Ferrari. Zach Brown over the radio. On the radio, listening in. And we've got a stalled Racing Bulls as well. That's Arvid Lindblad on board that car. And that can't be a good sign. Surely not. Surely that can't be a good sign for the year to come. Arvid Lindblad stopped at the end of the pit lane. Yeah, no, that can't be a good sign. Yellow flag is out. I think the FIA, the race control, are giving enough time. Virtual safety car is deployed. Oscar Piastri saying, I've got power again. But how long would that last for? Virtual safety car is out. I think that is to get rid of the stranded Arvid Lindblad on the exit of the pit lane. So virtual safety car is out here in practice 1. This won't affect any of the teams, by the way. This won't affect them. Marshall's already onto it here in Australia to try and recover what would be a stranded Arvid Lindblad. On the outside of the road down there, George Russell on screen as he makes his run now down through into turn number 4. And there's George Russell as well, exiting the pits. See the dust that's actually being kicked up here at Australia. Of course, this circuit was literally built from the ground up. It was started being built nearly 12 months ago to this day. What happens is that they take it down, they leave it for about 6 months, then they start putting it back up. And they take it down the day after the Grand Prix is done. So we'll start taking it down. And once it's down, they wait 6 months and put it back up again. So it is a short turnaround for all of the crews here in Australia to actually get going. Oscar Piastri.
There's something that's still not right. The power delivery is not... Something's not right.
So Oscar Piastri not happy with his car here in practice 1. This is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. What's happened to Arvid Lindblad? Has he just lost power as well? I wonder. So he's at the end of the pit lane. Has he? Yeah, he's just lost power. Was it an energy thing? I'm thinking. Now, of course, new it's no longer really about car performance. It's all around the energy deployment, how much energy you deploy. And I think that might be an energy storage thing. No MGU-H in the back of these cars anymore, and that was the main supplier of the energy. We now have changed that to the energy store on these cars in a new generation of these cars, should I say.
Downshifts are shocking. All shifts. Something doesn't feel right. They're that bad.
Oh, McLaren FP1, and they're having issues. They're having issues, McLaren, in FP1. First practice of 2026, and McLaren already have bugs in their car. Not legitimately, but you know what I mean. Electrical gremlins that somehow have gotten inside those cars. There's something wrong with Lando Norris's car on power, apparently. I'm sorry, Oscar Piastri's car. It's power related. Throttle related, I think it was, for Lando Norris. It's all going bad. It's definitely not going right for McLaren in the early part of free practice 1 here. Certainly not going right. And hopefully the teams can turn those cars around. How are we, Elizabeth, though? How are we? Hope we're doing good. How are you? Hope you're doing well on this Friday afternoon, or as you'd say, Friday night. It's Thursday night for you. Thursday night, must I say? Thursday morning, more or less. It's still Thursday night, actually. It's 11:30 for you, so still Thursday night. Still creeping in. All good. What about you? Yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling, you know. I just got home. Decided to stream F1, and then we head on to F2 afterwards. Funnily enough. Thursday night, yes. What a way to spend your Thursday night. 11:25 at night. What a way. What a way. What a way to spend your Thursday night. Now, I won't be talking much of lap times in this session, admittedly. Admittedly, I will not be talking much about lap times. Of course, this is free practice 1. The track is still dusty, being, of course, the walls. These walls, they get placed into spot. And what happens is a lot of dust gets built up over from those walls. You know, the walls get taken down. And when those walls get put back up, a lot of dust comes off them. And that can be a bit of a problem for these cars. Of course, not as much downforce, not as much air going through these cars, hitting the circuit, so it's not cleaning the track as much, as you'd say. It's not cleaning the track. Of course, we do have support categories this weekend. We do have Formula 3, Formula 2. We also do have the Repco Supercars Championship here this weekend supporting. So they'll be cleaning the track a little bit. They would have rubbed the track in through, they've had practice, qualifying, and I think a race already this weekend. So it's cleaned the track a little bit. The track is rubbed in, but it's not clean off the outside of the circuit. There's no dust on the racing line, but I would not like to be off the racing line either. There is also Porsche Carrera Cup this weekend here as well, which would also be helping the track cleaning process. But it's a lot in practice 1. It is a lot of just, it's very much like Formula E style, this circuit. It's free practice 1 is cleaning the track a lot. You're gonna be trying to get a feel for the circuit, get a feel for the way the car handles around this circuit. Of course, these cars have only done laps of Bahrain, not of any other circuit so far this year. So these are the first laps that these cars are doing full speed around a different circuit. So it's going to be a lot of climatization in the first part, and the first time that 2 cars would be running as well. So Oscar Piastri's car has not been used yet. Well, it has, but it hasn't been used in a long run situation. So it can go technical gremlins and all that sort of stuff when cars don't get used for a long period of time. And it's very much like your road car. When it doesn't get used for longer than 6 months, even a couple of weeks, you know, it can grow gremlins. And that's what's probably happened to Oscar Piastri with that power issue that he had literally 9 minutes ago in this session. He's now sitting in the pit box and looking to try and get that fixed. I don't think they'll try and get that fixed in FP1, but they'll probably try to, most likely, in the early part of free practice 1 here. But yeah, this is going to be quite a non-indicative session here. I was looking at the times and where qualifying is placed. The closest session to qualifying this weekend is practice 2. Practice 2 is the next closest time to qualifying in terms of track conditions. Again, the track will not be as rubbered in. The track will not even be close to as rubbered in as what it will be come qualifying. We'll have Porsches F3, F2 and the supercars that would have run around as well this weekend. A lot more than what they have already this weekend. Sergio Perez has got, I think it's Sergio Perez. No, it is Valtteri Bottas has got a 22 spot grid penalty for this race. For the previous race he did in 2022 or 3. Either one of those. I think I have a sensation it was 2023 that the penalty was given out. And if it was, then it's carried over from the last race Valtteri Bottas did in 2022 or 3. 2023, I think it was Abu Dhabi, that he caused an incident. I could be wrong. But it was either 2022 or 2023 that incident was caused, and it's now carried over. So that incident has carried over, and it's now a 22 spot grid penalty for Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas, who would now be starting from the back of the grid for the 58 laps of the Australian Grand Prix this weekend. So the cars have made their way out there. There is Toto Wolff, has been an engineer of Mercedes now for nearly 8 years. Has been the team principal, should I say, of Mercedes for nearly 8 years. This is the 8-year anniversary for Toto Wolff. Stayed exactly where he is. He's seen many of generation's drivers. You've got to think of Lewis Hamilton, who's now, of course, in Ferrari. You've also got to think of people like, even now, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell that sit in these cars today. But yeah, so far, not so good for both McLarens. In the early part of free practice 1 here, we have, at the moment, Max Verstappen at the top over Charles Leclerc, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar, Lewis Hamilton, Liam Lawson, Alex Albon, Esteban Ocon, Ollie Behrman, George Russell in your top 10. Okay, that is for the moment, at least. That is for the moment. As our drivers continue to make their way around, this is Kimi Antonelli at the moment, making his way through as he tries to probably try and get a bit of track acclimatization here. Get used to this circuit, compared to, of course, where we've been, for example, in Bahrain. Charles Leclerc has gone fastest through both sectors. Purple through both sectors for the moment. Where does Andre Kimi Antonelli go? Currently sitting P3, and is about to stay P3, but does improve on his time. It's 122.4 there for Kimi. And Charles Leclerc will go to the top here by 0.2 over the 4-time world champion Max Verstappen, 122.0. So there you go, that is the early part of practice. We're 15 minutes in, and we've got Charles Leclerc at the top.
Plenty going on, Crofty, down here. First of all, on Oscar Piastri, it looks like it was a software glitch. They're just trying to figure out for the Mercedes engineers exactly what it was. But it looks to be okay. Arvid Lindblad seems something similar, because I'm just down at Racing Bulls right now, and the bodywork is still on the car. Mechanics standing around not doing anything, so it just looks like it was a software glitch that meant that he was stranded at the end of the pit lane. And we're just getting some more information about Fernando Alonso's Honda engine problem. It does seem when they fired up early today, they saw an issue that meant they couldn't do the session. We can actually have a look at the car right now, and the Honda mechanics underneath the car. We've got the Red Bull, the Aston Martin mechanics trying their best to do the human wall, but not massively succeeding, I must say. But we can still see the Honda guys underneath the car. And yeah, it's a mess because not only they've got all their problems, Crofty, because Lance Stroll is still in the garage, about to go out and do some more testing. But they need Alonso's data, try and get on top as much as they can of the vibration issues. And that's why this extra problem, this extra Honda problem that they found this morning, is so costly.
That time's tumbling all the time. Isaac Hadjar goes fastest. Now we're on board with Max Verstappen heading down towards turn 3, car number 3 for this year. And there's a lockup for Max Verstappen. And don't be surprised if we see a lot of lockups throughout the course of this season. Why, Anthony?
Well, it's a combination of things, Crofty. The active aero is one of them, because now you've got the front wing moving as well as the rear. It can be a slight delay in it reattaching the flow when the wings come back into position. There's that. And obviously it changes the ride height an awful lot. That's probably more the thing that happened to Verstappen down towards turn 3. And the different tyres as well, they're narrower than they were last year.
Well, that's
Norris
good news.
has shifted better.
Good.
Good seeing McLaren back out there at least. Tough start to the session for them. But yeah, it's a combination of those factors. Crofty is, they're learning their way with where they can set the ride heights as well, compared to the drastically different cars, the ground effect cars of last year, which were super low to the ground and super stiff. But with the suspension, you've got a lot more mechanical grip in many ways from the car here, through the suspension, through the tyres, and they can play around with the ride heights a bit more freedom than there was before. Yeah, you can see actually over the bump into turn 3, that's what triggered it, I think.
The newlywed is back on the track and back going fast again. Congratulations to Charles Leclerc and to his wife Alexandra, who got married last week, coming to Melbourne, maybe for a honeymoon, but there's a job to be done. He's gone fastest overall by 2.5 tenths from Isaac Hadjar. Max Verstappen is 3rd fastest. Kimi Antonelli 4th fastest, and Lewis Hamilton 5th fastest currently. There's a second between the top 5.
So yeah, that is quite a big margin in when you think of F1. There's indeed quite a margin when you think of that as well. It is indeed quite a big margin, as Fox Sports has decided to go to an ad break. That is fine.
Well, and Charles didn't help situations either.
So Bottas saying there over the radio that he got blocked by Lewis. He fully blocked me, he said over the radio there. So that would be probably a Lewis issue there in terms of trying to block. Isaac Hadjar has gone to the top in the Racing Bull, in the Red Bull car, should I say. Callan, when do you want to do pre-season testing? Callan has just come in through my chat and said we should do pre-season testing. And Shino Buns F1 fan has said for real. Now Shino Buns F1 fan, we're talking about something different. We've got our own racing league that we're starting up. So within my schedule and this racing league, it's a bit of a mind boggler. But yes, we can do it, Cal, if you would like. If Harrison and that are keen, sure. If Harrison and that are keen, sure. But yeah, 24 minutes gone in this session. Now I'm probably going to be quite convenient this weekend in terms of streaming this, because all the British people will be staying up to search through YouTube on their mobile devices. So I'm going to be quite helpful this weekend, and especially me living in Australia, it is quite helpful indeed. Tell if Harrison and that want to do it. Tell them, Callan. We'll do it in like 35 minutes or something like that. Max Verstappen caught up with our team in the preseason, in the press conference room.
If I have to raise a shopping trolley, I drive it to the limit of what a shopping trolley can do. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's as simple as that. At the end of the day, it has a brake pedal, a throttle pedal, and a steering wheel with a clutch. and you just drive that to the limit.
That is probably going to be the best saying we hear all year, ladies and gentlemen. When you have a clutch brake pedal, 4 black round tyres, and a steering wheel, you drive it to the limit. Famously said by Max Verstappen. 35 minutes to go left here in free practice 1. Lando Norris goes P15 on 124.9 again. Lap times will not matter here in the early part of free practice 1. Andrea Stella on the pit wall there. 124.6 there from Lando. Both McLaren's P14 and 15. Again, there was a lot of anticipation that Lando Norris could back up his championship run that he went on last year. Won the championship. And he said in a press conference earlier on this year, he still has, earlier on in the year, he still has said he hasn't got time to really bring it in, to really think about it. You know, he's just won a Formula 1 World Championship, and he said in a press conference earlier on this week, he still has not gotten used to the fact that he's won a World Championship. That is how long this winter break is this year. That's how long it, that's not how long it is been. It's how short it's been this year. He still has not gotten used to it, has said Lando Norris. Now, this man, Oscar Piastri, he'll be wanting to try and get redemption, more or less redemption, on what could have been, on a season of what could have been this year, what could have been last year. He probably had the chance to win it, but McLaren sort of nerfed him, if you would say. Or if you had your own opinion, it would probably be he just didn't have the car. Maybe it could have been that. As Carlos Sainz, the Alpine in front of him, gets in the way, that will be a big talking point actually come qualifying. Because, you know, there's the active arrow coming into play where both rear wing and front wing move. As the Alpine of, I think that is Pierre Gasly, goes off the road. There's a bit of a lock up there, and straight on at turn number 3. Harvard Lindblad, the road to Formula 1 has been quite successful, must I say. Harvard Lindblad, 2025, 6th place in Formula 2, Formula 3, 4th place. An Italian F4 in 2023. He was 3rd place. It's quite a successful road to Formula 1. And it's been top 10 in every feature category. If you include, of course, like go-karting, all that sort of stuff. Don't know exactly where he was in go-karting back. You know, you got to think 2021, 2020. Most likely, maybe 2019, maybe 2018. Where Arvid Lindblad was. Very successful, and now sits in the seat of a Formula 1 car. This year, that is quite successful for Arvid Lindblad. Very successful in Formula 2. 3rd place in Formula 2. Can he try and do one step better this year? There is no better step. It is Formula 1. Now you've got to make your ranks through Formula 1. For example, make your way through Williams, Alpine, all that sort of stuff before you reach some of the big top teams. There's about 30 minutes to go left in this session. There is the Red Bull car being worked on. I think that is Max Verstappen's car. Oh, who's in the pit lane at the moment? It is either Max Verstappen or Isaac Hadjar. More information from the pit lane.
Just to underline, through all the changes,
hey, Jasper.
all the emphasis on turbo and battery and all of that, you still got to set the car up, haven't you? And part of that is getting a rock solid rear axle, or as much as you can, because so much engine braking is done to recharge the battery through the most generated
30 minutes.
which runs off the engine.
We'll do it at 4:15. 1 hour of pre-season testing, 4:15.
Rear suspension change.
You guys play Fortnite.
Changes on this setup, but yeah, he's still in the garage for time.
George Russell, favourite, according to the bookmakers, for this.
So yeah, George Russell this year has been the favourite. Now, Jasper, if you stay for this stream, if you stay for the next 30 minutes, I will give you mod. Make that 20. Jasper, 20 minutes and I'll give you mod. It hasn't been exactly what I've wanted for in terms of a stay in the stream and chat, but it's close enough. It's been close enough. But yeah, 30 minutes to go left here in free practice. George Russell out there on the soft compound tyres as he makes his run through the complexer corners, of which is, I think that's 4, 5, and 6, and then through into turn 7, then 8. Turn 8 this is, sorry, turn 6 this is. Out the other side. Very cool shots we have this weekend. Some cool shots indeed. The cars making their way around the circuit. George Russell, though, on the soft tyres. Brand new cars means brand new tyres. The tyres have gotten smaller as well for this year. Must I admit, tyres have gotten smaller. In width, not as much rubber is going down anymore. Of course, there will be a lot of rubber going down come race time. But in 1 hour, there will be not much rubber going down here in free practice 1 within 1 hour. That's not going to be realistic. Must I say, look at the fans in that grandstand. It is absolutely packed. George Russell up in a P5, and the first driver on the soft compound tyre, Lance Stroll, has set a lap, but it's 30 seconds off the pace on the hard tyres. The first driver on the soft tyres, and he's up in a P5. Carlos Sainz is out there on the hard compound tyres. P11, about 1.5 seconds off the pace. Who would you believe could win the championship with the new regulations? Says Shino Buns, F1 fan. Okay. It's tough. I wanted to say Piastri had a chance, but if there's... I don't think McLaren have pace. I have a feeling. I know it's round 1, and that's a really tough question for round 1. But I'm going to say Lando is going to outperform that car, and he's going to be in a championship battle with, I feel, Leclerc and Verstappen. But sadly, for all of the non-Verstappen fans out there, I feel like Verstappen has another championship in him. This year just has vibes that Verstappen will win another championship. It has that vibe to it. Verstappen, I have a feeling, will end up winning another championship. We're looking at a replay here of Carlos Sainz making his run out of turn 10 and into 11. Sideways on the curb. I think he's just bobbed out there a little bit as the active aero turns off that car. And he's actually locked up and went off. There you go. That's the problem. So he's just run a bit wide on the exit of the apron out of turn 10. Kicked up a bit of dust, and the rear tyres have not liked it. They've wrapped it, and he went sideways. Then, with dust on tyres, he's locked up as the active aero has come off that car. And he's locked up and went straight off onto the grass for Carlos Sainz. So not exactly convenient there. He'll have tyres on those medium... He'll have grass on those medium tyres in now for his next run. If we are all enjoying though, make sure you guys hit like button. Subscribe. I'm trying to hit 200 subscribers. We're only 10 off. Only 10 subscribers off. Sergio Perez drives for his 5th different team in Formula 1 this year. 2026 counts for his 5th different team. Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas have signed, I think it was, for 2031. They were to stay in these cars. I think. I don't know what they... I don't know what the... I think that was the next set of regulations. That was. I'm not sure. But it was close to it. Zoro Guanyu, the reserve driver for Cadillac. Flippin' heck, I cannot speak. The reserve driver for Cadillac. This year there is Sergio Perez. Now making his run into turn number 1. Sergio Perez has said, I've lost my right mirror. Well, no he hasn't, because he's still got a right mirror on. Has he? I don't even know. Has he lost his right mirror? Doesn't look like he has. Cameraman, they're trying to zoom in as much as possible. No, he hasn't. Lewis Hamilton.
To flip things, and it's not that easy to do each time, but I always talk about cultivating a positive mental attitude, and that's what I focused on the winter doing. And a lot of it came from training, so I was training hard from Christmas Day. Also knowing that I find it hard. I believe in myself that I've put more work in than anyone around me, and I believe in in myself, and rediscovering myself was really a big part of it as well. I think, as I said in one of my posts, I kind of lost sight for a second of who I was, and that person's gone. So you want to see that person again.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton, you've got to think of moments back to Spa, Abu Dhabi, where he was really, really not happy with his performances. Mainly every time he got knocked out in Q2 were those, or even if he DNF'd in a race, which I can't actually remember back to a time where he actually DNF'd in a race. For those people that are listening in, please do remind me. I can't remember the last time Lewis Hamilton DNF'd in a race last year. Can't remember. I know there was one round or two, but yeah, that's just showing that you won't see that negative side of Lewis Hamilton anymore. This year, you will certainly not see that negative side. We're hoping we won't see it. Max Verstappen goes to the top on a 1:20.9. Now we're about nearly 2 seconds off the pace compared to qualifying last year. As Lando Norris having a chat to his engineer. He's hopped out of his car, so maybe debriefing a bit early with the team. Here is Sergio Perez replay, making his run through the left and right chicane. That is the mirror that is flapping on the right-hand side of Sergio Perez's. There you go. That's what he meant by he's lost his mirror. So the mirror case is still on the car. The mirror itself, though, well, that's non-existent. That has been crushed by another F1 tyre. Or another F1 car. Or, well, probably been washed away somewhere in the grass. And one of the marshals will find it a bit later on, possibly. 23 minutes to go left here in free practice 1 for Formula 1. Charles Leclerc starts a lap here in his Ferrari. Will this be a qualifying simulation? Interesting. Interesting indeed. Will this be a qualifying simulation for Charles Leclerc, or will we see just a race run on the soft tyres, see how long they can last for? Of course, new tyres this year. Practically new everything. New everything. Everything is brand new in these cars, new tyres. So, again, the soft tyres, they're still soft tyres, but how long now can the soft tyres last for in terms of a race running situation? Now, immediately the one thing I'm noticing with Red Bull in particular is that both cars seem to be a lot closer together in terms of pace. When you think back to 2025, when the cars were miles away from each other, Yuki Tsunoda was at best P11, P12. Of course, iconic moment last year where Yuki Tsunoda held up Lando Norris in the race. That gave Yuki Tsunoda a penalty. So there were situations last year in terms of trying to help where Yuki Tsunoda did help. But, again, wasn't suited for the team apparently. So Yuki Tsunoda no longer. Isaac Hadjar has replaced his seat in Red Bull. The cars already seem a lot closer together. Max Verstappen and Hadjar sit P2 and P3. So Hadjar, has he been learning off of Max Verstappen? We did see in the Red Bull car reveal that those two did seem like they've already bonded quite well. As well. They did bond quite well, indeed. Lewis Hamilton up into position 4 on that last lap. There's Carlos Santi, the race engineer for Lewis Hamilton, feeding off information, feeding off data to Lewis Hamilton from that last qualifying simulation. So that certainly was a qualifying sim. And immediately it seems like the soft tyres are sort of wearing out by the end of the lap. Ted Kravitz in the pit lane.
Gone wrong, and make sure they don't compromise the vital FP2. And I say again, amongst all of these issues, F1 is still F1, and FP2 is still really important in garnering all your homework and getting your tyre info and everything else. Not to mention all your power unit settings, your balanced energy modes and all of that jazz. You've got to get that ready for the race, and most of that happens in free practice too. So the car is on stands. I think you can see it down here. Lando, the number one on his race suit, is talking to Will Joseph, his engineer, going through the data. Last half an hour or so, probably not the end of the world, but yeah, the first person of the big four not to make it through the whole session is Lando Norris.
Fourth most
Wow. And again, what... Oh, Jesus. Oh, I just forgot his name. Oh, that's gonna kill me. Oh, jeez. Oh, I forgot his name. Oh, that's gonna kill me. Jesus. I'm gonna remember that later, and I'm gonna actually poo my pants. Oh, flippin' heck. That's gonna annoy me. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. But what he was about to say was... Again, fourth most experienced driver in F1 at the moment, Lando Norris, not out there. So I think that experience that Lando Norris does have come into play. It will come into play. David Croft. There we go. I remembered. David Croft. David Croft. There we go. Oh, finally. Got it. Jeez. David Croft. What he was about to say, Lando Norris, the fourth most experienced driver. I think that experience, the experience of this track won't matter. Not for him, at least. Not for him. 19 minutes, 58 seconds to go. Alex Albon making his run now up to the first corner. It's 123.1. Now drivers are starting to use the soft tyres a little bit more. This is... welcome in, Jen. Hello, I have a question. I was wondering for you, where would you list the teams of who will have more trouble this year and teams that will succeed? So is that a question, or do you mean where I would list them? What do you mean by list? Because, like, do you mean what teams will be successful and what teams won't be? Is that what you mean? Lewis Hamilton getting right up on the curb there as he tries to find the limits. That was on the exit, actually, of turn number 7. On the exit there, for Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, he's very much finding the car's limits, should I say. So what teams will be successful and what teams won't? Well, if I was to list them, I'm going to say immediately, unfortunately, any new Cadillac fans in the sport, Cadillac, bow. Probably dead last, or close to it, at least. Next, Alpine. Bow. Not going to be anywhere close. Not going to be anywhere close to the top. They weren't last year, and if I'm being completely honest, they weren't the year before either. Isaac Hadjar getting a bit of trouble with traffic, and in the process, straight off the road. So close to the barrier, Isaac Hadjar. That was close. Isaac Hadjar. So close to the barrier. That was close.
Fast that.
Well, that's a big letter.
Hadjar getting the freaks on out there. That was close. Lewis Hamilton straddling on the curb on the exit of the fast left and right chicane. How many minutes, says Harrison? We've got 15 minutes to go left in practice 1. But yes, back onto that list. Cadillac Alpine. Bow. Nowhere close. Not gonna happen. Not even close. My next team, Haas. I'm a bit of a Behrman fan. I'm a bit of a Behrman fan. 16.5 minutes to go left in this session. Jasper, you probably won't be getting a mod. Have you been here the whole time? Flippin' heck. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. And now Fox Sports has just cut to an ad break, so I can't finish off my list. Jesus. How rude do people have to be? Thing is, I have a certain rule. You have to be here, but you have to be chatting for you to know I'm here. Because I can't just, like, I'm not going to hand out mod like that. Not going to happen. Alex Albon, replay of the car making its run through the back straight. Has he run? I have been. Okay. Alex Albon. Yellow flag is out. This is a problem. This is a big problem for Alex Albon. He is slowed on the back straight. Now, will we see a red flag here for this car? He has nearly grounded to a halt. Nearly. He has grounded to a halt here. Alex Albon, we might get a red flag, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So, we'll see if we do actually get a red flag. Virtual safety car. So, the second one of the session. Virtual safety car is out. Now, back to my list. Again, flipping heck. How hard does this have to be? So, we've done Cadillac, Alpine, Haas. Next up, RB. Batbaum. I'm going to say Batbaum for when they're outside the top 10. I have a feeling outside the top 10 would be reasonable for RB. Close to it, though. Williams. Top 10. Top 10 most rated, I feel. For Williams. Ted Kravitz.
I assume his Stroll's car at least made it out for a handful of laps. Was it 3, you said, at last chance?
Yeah, 3.
And the vibrations are such that, it shakes the battery, or it starts to damage various battery-related components and other bits of the car, so that's bringing down. You can see at the bottom of the car, I think you can see now, the 2 Honda mechanics working at, the battery is in that part of the car, but I don't know whether they're actually starting take the battery apart as well. The word from the team is that his session has come to an end due to a suspected power unit related issue. Issues on both the cars will be investigated further over the lunch break, and we can only hope they might get some laps in the afternoon, but even that's not sure. Maybe we should just leave them to it. But if the hazard lights are on, can you then claim, maybe if you stopped on a double yellow line, Crofty, with your hazard lights, you've just got to go run an errand. When you come back and there's a parking attendant or a police officer, you just say, I had a hydraulic failure. So that's why my hazards are on. Alex Albon did, and I've got one too. So I can't move my car.
I would never...
So, there you go. Would never do that. There you go. Next team, I would say, Audi. Now, I actually forgot to mention this. Audi outside the top 10. Batbaum, Audi won't be anywhere near. Flippin' heck, why did I forget Audi? Next up, we have all the top teams now. We have some of the top teams. Mercedes, definitely, I'd say probably top 5. Top 6. Virtual safety car is ending, so we'll go back to green flag in a minute. Mercedes, definitely. Then, next team, McLaren would be close to it. After McLaren, I would probably say Red Bull, then... Ferrari, then Red Bull. That's my list at the moment. From what I've heard, that's my list. Definitely. Jasper, I'm going to give you mods. Added moderator, standard. So there you go. That is my list. Jen, there you go. 7.5 minutes to go. Jasper, good job. You've earned yourself mod. Now don't do anything stupid. Do something stupid, I will take away that mod. You'll have to work it back. You will have to work it back. There's your list, Jen. And those, if you were to go in slowest to fastest, that would be it. That would be it probably for the moment. That would probably be my slowest to fastest list, I would say. 7 minutes, 12 seconds to go in this session. Lewis Hamilton is at the top of the session, 1:20.7. 1 minute 20.7. Thoughts on the new season of Drive to Survive? Now, F1 fans hate me. I've not watched it yet. I haven't even watched episode 1. F1 fans can hate me. I've not watched episode 1. Not watched it. I've not watched it yet. Don't spoil anything. I've not watched it. Hate me. Hate me for it. Because, to be honest... Oh, and that's a problem for It was a lock-up from one of the Cadillacs. That is Sergio Perez. Off the road on the exit of turn 3. On the exit of turn 3. Neither, I haven't watched it yet. Awesome. Awesome. We can be the non-drive to survive non-watcher buddies. If you are enjoying that, hit like button, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 200 subscribers. This is what happened to Sergio Perez in the Cadillac. Running number 11 on the car this year. And has he just put the power down a bit too early, or is he actually locked up? Oh, he's locked the rears. So that is, I would think, if I was to be a big brain nerd about this, the active aero. So is that shut? The rears have locked. Perez?
Off throttle.
Yeah, having a lot of time braking. I had a massive one there.
So that's an off-throttle problem. Yeah, so he's come off the throttle, and he's obviously maybe jammed the brakes a bit too hard. Maybe. Maybe. So that seems like it was definitely a rear locking situation. So he's locked the rears and he's spun the car around, which is quite strange. But a lot of locking up will be a big problem. Also, braking threshold. It's a very small brake threshold in these new cars, so you can't be jamming the brakes, as you saw there. It ends badly, and we saw that from Sergio Perez already in the early part of free practice 1. So, we have Lewis Hamilton at the top at the moment with 4 minutes 50 seconds to go. There's Frederick Vasseur on the pit wall. There, 4 minutes 50 seconds to go. The only driver that's not set a lap time at the moment is Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. So both Aston Martin drivers are struggling with issues. And we heard that from Ted Kravitz in the pit lane. Gabriel Bortoleto in the Audi. About 2/10 off his teammate. But Audi moving on this year. Moving from Kick Sauber to Audi, of course. That was confirmed like back end of 2024 that would happen. So shock horror, not. 4 minutes 15 seconds to go. He's actually starting a hot lap on the medium tyres. And again, we heard earlier from Ted Kravitz in free practice 2. I would very much recommend coming to free practice 2 a bit later on tonight. We will be streaming F2 a bit later on as well. That will be live from 5:30. I will be doing that one. But free practice 2 will be later tonight. I was going to do it at 4 o'clock, but I do have pre-season testing to run for my racing league on Fortnite. So I have to run that very, very soon. So, yeah, that'll be later tonight. That'll be from 5:30. I'll be doing that. And then later tonight will be F2. Sorry, F2 from 5:30. Then we'll be running off of Formula 1 later tonight. So I'll fix that schedule up. And if you're in Britain right now, you're going to be absolutely screwed. It's going to be 7 a.m. in the morning and you're going to be staying up all night. Especially if you want to catch free practice 1. And especially if you're too lazy to turn on Sky Sports F1. So there you go. 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go left in this session. The timer continues to tick down. I wonder if we'll see any qualifying simulations. To be completely honest with you. Bortoleto not seeming to improve inside his Audi. At the moment, he's gone yellow and yellow, so slowest through both sectors. Maybe it's a bit of a race run, a bit of a big lock-up. Big lock-up up in front, and smoke blown off from up in front. You can see the 11 that's been laid down there. The black licorice strap that's been laid down from a car locking up. I don't know if he went straight on, but probably would have been close to it. This is Iniki Rudu, who is the new sporting director for Audi as well. Arvid Lindblad set to become the youngest ever British F1 driver. Wow, that is a stat to have. That is a stat. Arvid Lindblad set to become the youngest ever British F1 driver. Can you think back to when Lando Norris had that stat? Wow, that was a long time ago. Think back to maybe 2018 when he had that. Arvid Lindblad, fastest through the second sector. This RB looking quite pointy at the moment. As he makes his run now up through the right-hand flick and then the fast right-hander again. He makes his run through turn 11. And into turn number 12. Get the power down and round the final corner. Top speed. Pierre Gasly has that at the moment. 333 k's an hour. 206 miles an hour. If you're using that mile per hour, should I say, terminology. Arvid Lindblad goes up into P5 with 1:20 on the clock. Peter Hamlin, race engineer for Arvid Lindblad this year. And again, it's quite important to have a driver and an engineer sort of relationship. Good to have that. Ferrari look quick in practice 1. They're 1 and 3 at the moment. And Charles Leclerc is flying through the first sector. And he's flying through the second sector. And he's probably going to go to the top. Oscar Piastri, McLaren showing their pace in the back end of free practice 1. They're purple through the first sector. We'll see if Oscar Piastri can continue through that pace through sector 2 and sector 3. Charles Leclerc, though, up through both sectors. And he's out by about 4/10 at the moment. Oscar Piastri, though, he has maybe had a lock-up because he's gone down by nearly half a second through the second sector. So we'll see what happens there for the McLaren driver. But Charles Leclerc running his way through the final corner, turn 13, and run to the line now for Charles Leclerc. It's P1 by half a second over his teammate Lewis Hamilton. It's a 1:20.2 here early on in this session. Charles Leclerc, third sector fastest. Can Oscar Piastri improve from 9th position? Probably will be. Might be P3 for Oscar Piastri here. Ferrari look quick. Oscar Piastri only P6. We've got Lando Norris 4 seconds off the pace, down in P18. There might be some questionable moments there from McLaren, but for the first time this year, for the Formula 1 Championship, the checkered flag waves at the end of free practice 1, and we've got Charles Leclerc on top, and everybody has now done a soft tyre run in these temperatures. It's a 1:20.2, and, well, join us for practice 2, because the track will only get quicker, I could imagine. But that's it for free practice 1. Yeah, no. Aren't we doing testing?
I thought you were doing practice too.
No! Did you not hear me? Oh, for fuck's sake. We're doing it. I'm doing it later on. I said 30 minutes. It's been 35. Jesus Christ. Bloody hell. Do you think the number 2 curse will continue with Isaac? Yes. I reckon it will. Okay, Isaac Hadjar, number 2 seat. Number 2, in terms of seating. Hadjar, yes. I think that curse might continue, to be completely honest with you. I mean, Hadjar. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that Hadjar had some pretty good pace, but now you think of it, maybe, yeah. I reckon it will. Max will probably just end up overperforming in most races, to be completely honest with you. But Isaac Hadjar has shown a pretty good performance in practice 1 so far. Pretty good performance. P4, just in behind his teammate. So, the checkered flag is dropped on the end of practice 1. I'm assuming 10 minutes. Make that 7. Make that 7 minutes, Harrison. And my stupid brother has just come into me and said, he's just come in and asked if I wanted prawns. And I was like, yeah, no, I thought we were doing testing. And obviously he didn't listen, because guess what he said? I thought you were doing practice 2. If you were listening or watching the stream, you would have heard me. Oh my god. Stupid. Just use your brain. Bloody hell. I said it just annoys me. It annoys me because he has no brain. He doesn't use it. Well, he has one, but he doesn't use it. I like prawns. Did you know that? Oh, no, I didn't. Didn't know that. So, I think we're going to get a practice start here. So, I would like to very much watch this practice start, because I have heard that a lot of bustling has happened here. A lot of bustling. There's Fernando Alonso out of the car. Seems to be texting someone. Did you know Red Bull sucks? Fan fact. Well, fun fact. Okay, yeah. That's a pretty good fact. It's a pretty good fact, must I say. Pretty good fact. So I think we're gonna get some practice starts here. Now this could either end extremely badly, or this could either end extremely well. this could either end extremely badly or extremely well. Now, we did get a good practice start in day 3 at Bahrain testing. Can we get a good one here for all of our drivers? We'll have to wait and find out. Lewis Hamilton we're on board with. The Ferrari looks good. That looked pretty good. That looked good. That looked good from Lewis Hamilton. Nicely on the revs. Revs looked good. The car actually got away pretty well. No wheel spin didn't seem like. So, looked like it was a pretty good start. Did you know Feeney had a whinger? When does Feeney not whinge nowadays? Jeez. Surprised you're not going for him anymore. He's in Ford. As the rest of the cars pull away off their practice start, so it doesn't seem like it was a bad practice start there, but could have been better. Definitely could have been. There is always room for improvement, so we'll see what happens come race day. We've got practice 2 a bit later on, and Formula 2 is coming up from 5:30. Actually, we'll run you through the results in a few moments. Let's run you through the results right now. Actually, round 1, practice 1, and Charles Leclerc was the fastest here. Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, and Max Verstappen rounding out your top 3. Ferrari need to prove that they won't flop this season. I agree with you. Charles Leclerc, 1 minute 20.2. Lewis Hamilton, and Max Verstappen, the Dutchman, in P3. Isaac Hadjar, Ivan Lindblad, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Nico Hulkenberg in position 10 for my sanity. Yes, for everyone's sanity, to be completely honest with you, Ferrari cannot bottle their strategies. Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz, Liam Lawson, Oliver Behrman. We then have Alex Albon, Franco Colapinto, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez in position 20. So that is going to most likely round out your field. Make that Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso. I thought you were doing practice 2 in 20 minutes. I'm not doing practice 2 in 20 minutes. I'm doing that. If you had ears, I'm doing that later tonight at like 8 o'clock. So if you had ears, you'd use them. But apparently people don't use their ears. So use them, please. So we've got practice 2 coming up tonight from 8 o'clock. We've then got Formula 2 after my pre-season testing from 5:30. So Formula 2 there will be covered by Alex Jakes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alex Jakes and Martin Brundle will be covering Formula 2 there. And that will be done by the World Feed. So that's practice there. Then after Formula 1, we've got Formula 2 practice. Formula 2 qualifying, which will be happening 9 o'clock tonight. Then Formula 1 practice and qualifying and sprint race for Formula 2 tomorrow. Practice 3 from 10 past 12. Then, before that, we've got Formula 2 qualifying. Should be Formula 2 sprint. Sorry, Formula 2 sprint. Get it right. That is it, though, for practice 1. I'll be back from 8 o'clock tonight, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, for practice 2 and Formula 2 from 5:30. I'll catch you then. Goodbye.